wrote that when she was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, everything we need we have. I love the sharing of personal story, of transformations that have happened with people in this center. And so it is with a big, full heart today that I welcome Jen Oman to the stage. That's why I'm wearing these glasses. Good morning.
Good morning.
When you have the neurological disease of MS, it can take away a person's sense of balance as well as their ability to lift their leg to walk, which is why I've been using a walker for the last 9 years of my life. But since I moved to Asheville 5 years ago and started coming to this center and started taking classes and learning about these principles, I have been putting them into action on a daily basis, trying to see if I can turn this around for myself. And I've been having some good luck. I am now walking, or hiking actually, in the early morning every day, and in the evenings when I get home from work with 2 hiking poles. I'm now working on being able to walk with just 1 hiking pole, and in my own home, I'm now walking totally unassisted. So all of this has been brought about by believing in these teachings that I'm learning here and putting them into action on a daily basis, or as Ernest reminds us, treat and move your feet. So I've been working hard on that, and just amazing things have been happening. So at my last testimonial that I gave here about 2 years ago, I shared with you how using the principles of science of mind has brought me some really significant things in my life, such as being able to live in an absolutely beautiful home, and being able to have my 2 careers that I love in Asheville. One is a licensed psychotherapist and have a private practice, and the other is a personal fitness trainer for the downtown YMCA. So, but since then, other things have been able to be manifested through treatment and using these teachings. One is that 2 years ago, I read about the magical properties of the harp. And I became very intrigued with that, and I really felt a sense of a calling, so to speak, to go to harp therapy school so that I could learn to be able to volunteer for hospice playing for patients. But I didn't have the funds to go to harp therapy school. I didn't even have the money to get a small portable therapy harp. Heck, at that time I didn't even know how to play a harp. But I treated for this, and I took daily action to try to get it to happen. And 1.5 years later, it all happened. And I was able to go to harp therapy school in California. I was able to come by the funding to get a small therapy harp, and I'm now working regularly at hospice, volunteering, playing harp bedside for patients who are transitioning. It's really some of the most meaningful work I've ever done, the power of that instrument to bring a sense of peace and calm is like no other instrument in the world. So since then, I've been treating to try to get somehow a full-size harp for the extra resonance that they have and the lovely bass notes that I miss so much. But as you can imagine, a well-made harp, specifically the larger they get, the more expensive. So I've just been treating for it. And you know how Barbara says to us, the universe has ways of bringing us things in ways we've never even thought of? Well, here's a case in point. Last month, I get a call from a real well-known, wonderful harp maker in Seattle, Washington. And they say to me, an anonymous person who's never even met me, heard about me and my work, and wanted to donate to them all the monies necessary for me to be able to get a full-size, brand new harp. So, a month ago, this beautiful instrument arrives in this huge case, huge crate at my front door. And John Bedeke was kind enough to come over and help me unpack it. It is absolutely lovely, and it's going to enable me to be able to play for larger venues as well as memorial services. So, fast forward to today. So I've been working up to trying to walk with one hiking pole. And when I started to have success with that about 6 months ago, I said to myself, it was like a little spark inside of me, or a little voice inside my little kid, perked up and said, well, if I can do that, what else do I want my body to be able to do? And so it was springtime. And naturally, the answer came back right away. I want to be able to ride a full-size two-wheel bike again. But it was unheard of for a person with secondary progressive MS. But I decided right then, yep, I'm going to do this. And so I treated for it, and I started taking daily action. The first thing I did was devise a physical plan for my body to prepare for this. And then I recruited the help and support of a local bike store here in Asheville, who was really excited about this quest and loaned me 2 brand new bikes to learn with. And so I just started. Step 1 was learning to ride a small bike, and I couldn't even lift my legs up long enough to reach the pedals. So we took the pedals off, and we just worked on me being able to coast a little bit to see if I could even balance on a bike. I worked on that every day for 2 months. And then we went to the next step, which is putting the pedals back on the bike. And I worked on trying to lift my legs up high enough that I could put my feet on the pedals. That was really challenging, and that took about 2.5 months. But I kept at it every day, and I kept using these principles and believing. And then the last step was being able to pedal a little, put my feet down to stop, which is very necessary to do. So what did I do? And then lift them up again to start pedaling a little, and then repeating that process over and over. And so I did that for a while. And then we tried to see if we could put all of this together to see if I could pedal a distance. And so we started doing that a little bit. And in a couple of seconds, we're going to play a video of what happened when we tried to do this. But I just want to preface it by saying in the beginning of the video, I'm taking this long pause. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm reviewing in my head all the 23 steps necessary for me to be able to get going, get my feet up, get balanced, and try to get this bicycle up and going without falling over and crashing. So that's the reason for the pause. So you can go ahead and show the video, thanks.
Second time, self-propulsion. Virginia Oman, riding bike. Let's do it.
I'm trying. I gotta get up enough to push off.
There we go. Make it up to the double here. All right, pedal, pedal, pedal. Nice.
It's still amazing for me to see that. In fact, that very day in September when I rode that distance, I literally had to say to myself the rest of the day out loud, I rode a bike. I just rode a bicycle. Because I couldn't get it to sink in otherwise. In fact, my neurologist says that she's never in her entire career heard about this or read about this happening with anyone, and certainly doesn't know of any of her patients that have even come close to being able to do this. So she's dumbfounded with it all. But I'm sharing this because I was able to do all this from believing in these principles, learning about them, reading, taking class after class with Barbara, having wonderful treatments by a few really special practitioners here. And Barbara and John have also treated for me. And working with it every day. Not just reading about the principles or listening to them, but actually using them and taking steps every day to work towards it. I just thank Ernest Holmes for synthesizing these teachings so beautifully. But mostly, eternal and infinite thank you to Barbara and John Waterhouse for your amazing brilliance in bringing these teachings and making them accessible to us, and bringing them to life. And for CSL Asheville, thank you.
Walkers and crutches, and they're all falling by the wayside. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for your determination and your hard work to bring about a miracle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, people, get ready.